Yes, sir.
let me go straight to the Bilderberg meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going straight to the Bilderberg meeting. I'm going straight to it. Friday the 13th is when they so-called hit Ukraine, right? Don't forget wars, or putting it out there concerning wars.
Iran.
Iran, excuse me. Yeah, Iran, excuse me. Thank you, Iran. Now, wars is one of those what? Wars is one of those particular parts. Even Christ spoke of wars and rumors of wars. Well, hey, Baruch was speaking of this. What? 5 centuries before Christ was born. When you take both of those prophecies together, it brings us to our current time. Right? Now look at this. What are we viewing here? While they got everyone looking one way, we're looking at what they're doing. The Bilderberg meetings, 2025. From what? The 71st Bilderberg meeting. While they have you looking one way, I'm going to show you what the plans are that they're bringing forth, that falls directly into the prophecies concerning what's about to happen. When did they bomb Iran again, Elder Lawya? That was Friday 13th?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And guess what? They was meeting at Bilderberg in Europe the 12th through the 15th of June in Stockholm, Sweden. Now let's talk about this real quick, because here's the plan for America and for the whole world for this year. And they're going to execute this whether the people can accept it or not. They don't care if you agree with what they're doing. They have the full right to do it. Why? It's no better time than now, because the whole world is in sin. So who can resist them? The whole world is in a stupor, dealing with themselves, not caring about anything. So who can resist them? So they're going to, guess what? They used to hide this information concerning their conversations. You notice they don't even hide what they're talking about anymore publicly, because there's no one in the world is so disjointed from one another when it comes to people. I'm going to tell you right now, they can put it out there without any threat of people opposing them. Folks, they didn't used to put this stuff online concerning what their plans are. But no one can resist them now. The whole world is in sin. Look at what they talked about, Elder Lawya, from the 12th to the 15th. The topics that the European Union, Rome, Edomites discussed last week. Check this out, Elder Lawya. Transatlantic relationship. How are they going to deal with Africa? How many times I was telling you about that? Ukraine was discussed between the 12th and the 15th. The U.S. economy was discussed. What they're going to do with the economy here. And whatever they discuss, Trump has to roll out. Okay? Presidents are figureheads. They don't make decisions. Okay? Any company that has a CEO rolls out the plan based on the contracts the company owns. Okay? He's the brain trust to bring forth the plan that's given for the corporation. So don't think that Donald Trump is in any position to oppose anything that's here, because this is where Donald Trump and other leaders get their marching orders. This is where they get the programs so that their corporation can run, which is a country. So they discuss the U.S. economy. What did they discuss according to the economy? I'm going to show you all. A new system that was set up, a reset, since they let everyone out after the so-called pandemic. They reset everything for a new economy, which would require less people. They discuss Europe. They discuss the Middle East. We don't have to figure out what they discussed because the 13th, missiles were sent into Iran. Okay? So you know they discussed that there. Listen to this. Authoritarian axis. That means they're looking into what governments are in place that can oppose the New World Order. Defense, innovation, and resilience. Listen to this. Artificial intelligence. I talked about that last Wednesday. Look into that. Artificial intelligence, deterrence, and national security they discussed. Listen to this. Proliferation. Which countries that will have to do what? Dial down their weaponry or nuclear capability. Listen to this. Geopolitics of energy and critical minerals. Look at this. So they must know that a famine is coming because now they're discussing what? The rationing of food based on whatever going to go down through these wars. See? How are we going to distribute to the supermarkets or what have you? They discuss this. The conservation of energy and critical minerals, including food. How to control the mining and all that. But more so, food distribution was discussed. Now listen to this. Don't buy into your illegal immigration narrative. A lot of these people were coming over the border during the Biden administration. Military age from these other countries that are still here. Are they NATO? That's just a question. I don't know. Look at this. I had to blow this up, folks. Last discussed on the list. Depopulation. How to depopulate the earth or bring these countries down to a manageable number. They discuss depopulation, folks. And migration. Moving people into other countries because you undermine a country's culture and history if you bring in strangers who aren't connected to how that particular area became great. Who have no connection to the history or the greatness of a country that's filled with culture. You destroy or depopulate the people, and you bring in Babylonians who can care less about the culture. Switching God's people out with black and brown vermins. Y'all doing a great job. Man, Lawya, we're up to 2,500 right now. Thank you all. Do me a favor. I need 300 more likes for those who can hit that for me. Now, they're talking about, last week, folks, they were talking about depopulating. That means people that are living, listen to this, must be depopulated. Now we're going to open that up for y'all to guess, which people they're targeting. Huh? We're going to open that up for a conversation as we bring this in, as we close out soon. But if you're going to depopulate, you must bring in people who are against the culture and who are seeking to tear everything down from its foundation. Especially when it comes to where God's people are. We are the culture. We are the history. We, brothers and sisters, God's people, has always been the heroes. I need you to think about this, folks. Think about the Edomites who conquered these countries. How many of these people could be considered heroes? We're the heroes. Bloodshed, carnage when they come. Guess what? The majority of their so-called leaders were sexual deviants, freaks. They don't have any heroes, folks. We're the heroes. So when they talk about depopulating and migrating, they're talking about destroying the culture that was cultivated through our people. Their people don't have any culture. Okay? They don't have any history to brag about. So they were discussing us, our people, the impact on God's people rising, the children of Israel. That's what they were discussing. Now, don't you all get thrown off and panic based on what's going on in Iran right now. Do not panic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it serious? Absolutely. But they're banking on people, what? Panicking to run to their own and run to their own demise in the midst of this, like what happened during the pandemic.
Right.
When you don't know what to do, pray and stay still. Okay? Now we're going to direct you on what to do as far as spiritually it goes. We have a church with like-minded people who the Most High have gathered together for this specific time. Okay? Who's not just talking about it. Everything the Most High told us to do in preparation is getting done. So we're not no people out there who just teaching the Bible and saying, follow the law and come together. How can you see what's going on and not prepare like Joseph did when he was in Egypt? To understand there will be a lack of rations. You see what they're doing in Bilderberg. They're telling you what's going to happen. And if you fall short without planning, you cannot tell anyone around you that you weren't told to prepare. That's our position, to put it out there. And guess what? We're not telling people, hey, come join us and all. Hey. Repent, be baptized for the remission of sins. And guess what? Even though you're not going to be amongst us, we're putting some information out there so that you can prepare yourself in your family, because it's going to hit regardless. No matter what group you're with or who you think you're down with. It doesn't matter. But it's all against the awakening. It's really against God's people. But only those who are in Christ will be directed through this. Okay. Well, after there's no more internet, folks. Well, after there's no more name such as a Gathering of Christ Church or any other name somebody want to name something, God's people will be here and Christ will guide them through. So when I play this, do not panic. People that panicked the first time when the pandemic happened, look at a lot of them ran to their own demise. I've never seen so many funerals, one after the other, and no one was putting two and two together. Then we had people from funeral homes who worked at funeral homes was sending us pictures and all types of stuff and saying, there's something different in the embalming process that we never seen before. I showed that privately outside of this platform. Folks, people who worked at funeral homes, people that's baptized in the church, down south in the Washington, D.C. area, sent me pictures. So all the people that were afraid and frightened into a decision, well, a lot of them ran to their own death by making that choice. People that was actually dealing with the embalming says, hey, there's some coagulation going on here that we never seen before. Pulling out what looks like rubber out of people. And no one put, and then people was asked, then people started asking questions. I wonder what choice those people made who thought that they were doing what they needed to save their lives. And I'm going to say this because every time prophecy go down, every time the Most High is showing something, you have some people who would try to what? Benefit off of your fear of something. Or try to get you to do something for them. Panicking you. Folks, no, you don't roll like that. Never make a move out of fear. The fearful and unbelieving will have their place in the lake of fire. Don't let nobody move you. Same thing, folks. Remember we were cool during that pandemic? We were cool. I said, listen, just stay the way you are and you'll make it through. Just stay the way you are. And guess what? So many people sent messages thanking the church because we didn't know these people personally, but they had the confidence with us to wait it out. And later they would call us and send messages to us and say, you know what? Listen, y'all didn't even know we were looking at y'all, but we thank you. Because the people that followed what they said, we had to bury. We buried many of our loved ones following them. Thank you. And you know what we said? All praises be to the Most High. If anything, thank yourself for standing in faith and not letting government or the world powers dictate your path. You be an outside observer of these signs and parts and don't get all caught up into the stupor or you're going to fall. Now, out of nowhere, Trump. Fair use for educational purposes only.
There's nothing like America. Have a good time, everybody.
Have you been answered questions about whether you are moving closer or you believe the U.S. is moving closer to striking Iranian nuclear facilities? Where's your mindset on that?
I can't say that, right? You don't seriously think I'm going to answer that question? Will you strike the Iranian nuclear component? And what time exactly, sir? Sir, would you strike it? Would you please inform us so we can be there and watch?
Fair use.
I mean, you don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate. And I said, why didn't you negotiate with me before? All this death and destruction. Why didn't you negotiate? I said to the people, why didn't you negotiate with me 2 weeks ago? You could have done fine. you would have had a country. It's
Now, Elder Lawyer, you there?
Yes, sir. Yep, I'm here.
He said, "Why did you negotiate with me 14 days ago?" Lawyer, you sent me a video. What that's from 5 months ago. I looked at it last night, right?
Yes, sir.
And this is why Biden, this is the same time so-called Biden, we know that he was out to lunch for 4 years. Whoever was running the presidency or running the White House, none of us will never know. But during the time of his so-called administration, 5 months ago, there was a detailed video breaking down exactly how they were going to attack Iran. Yes?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Did they not do exactly what was in the video?
Almost to a T.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Elder Lawyer. Because what I need to do right now to show y'all folks, you got to understand the theater when the microphones are in front of them. Right? You have to understand what to accept as news because it's news. News have their part in reporting. Right? But again, you cannot deal with the spin that comes through local news or CNN or others. That's corporate news that are getting you to follow the narrative without understanding the full scope of what they're planning. Okay?
Right.
So, Elder Lawyer, thank you for doing that for me, for grabbing that, because what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to pull up a little bit of that video. I'm sure brothers and sisters would love to see a little piece of this from 5 months ago, right? Copy the link there, right? And see, folks, and we did this also, Elder Lawyer, even during the pandemic. We was showing you what was behind the news prophetically, so to navigate through any of the 12 parts. Right? Right? So you can hear what he's saying, or you can hear prophetically and filter him.
We're now at the...
Or filter him through the prophecies. Right? And again, there will be no one antichrist popping up anywhere. So Christians know Trump isn't the antichrist. He's one of many. Okay? 5 months ago. 5 months ago, brothers and sisters. Is this it? How Israel plans to checkmate Iran?
Done, sir. That's it.
5 months ago. 1.7 million views. How Israel plans to checkmate Iran. Fair use for educational and prophetic use only.
At the precipice of a regional war. It's not the first time though. Up until now, Iran and Israel have dodged bullets left and right, narrowly avoiding full-scale war. But Syria has fundamentally changed the playing field. Just a few hours after Assad's exit, Israeli ground forces moved into the Syrian side of the Golan Heights, expanding the demilitarized zone and taking strategic heights. Israeli tanks now sit within 30 kilometers of Damascus, possibly closer. Meanwhile, Israeli jets have bombed and destroyed chemical weapons sites and other advanced weaponry in Syria to keep them out of extremist hands. Explosions have been seen at Medza Air Base near Damascus, and this particular airstrike near Tartus was so massive that it registered a 3.0.
Now, what he's talking about, Elder Lawyer, many might not know here in the United States, they're talking about P. Diddy trial over here. You can't get no real news over here, right? Like, yeah. We just need to know how many bottles of baby oil was in the closet, okay? Now,
right.
Straight garbage. Now, for those who don't know, we stayed in Kittim for some years. I'm talking about the area of Cyprus, right? And 75 miles away from Cyprus is Syria. And you could hear bombs being dropped. You can hear bombs. They were bombing Syria. What? It had to be about 10 years ago they were bombing Syria. Right? So, but they were bombing Syria to get a strategic location to be able to eventually fuel the planes for the eventual war against Iran. So, folks, we heard this with our own ears, 75 miles away, across the water, across from the Holy Land, them bombing Syria. So now we realize why they were bombing Syria, so that they can do what? Do what we're about to see right here. Fair use.
Magnitude earthquake. The damage is extensive. Helicopters, jet fighters, and missile depots have been wiped out. Elsewhere, the Israeli Air Force has hit targets near Aleppo, Qamishli, Latakia, Quneitra, Hama, Homs, and other places. Altogether, more than 480 targets have been struck, the largest air operation in Israel's history.
Fair use.
At least 80% of Syria's military capacity has already been destroyed, and the rest is likely to be taken out in the coming weeks. This is a game changer. It gives Israel the ability to launch preemptive airstrikes on Iran's military and nuclear sites without needing help or approval from the United States.
Did this not happen last week, Lawya? Did the exact thing mapped out happen
Exactly to a T.
exactly how they stated it would happen 5 months ago? So for Trump to say here, well, we waited, 60 days, and that they didn't listen, this was already planned. So this is 5 months ago. The same exact thing that just happened last week. They showed exactly strategically how they were going to do it before Trump was voted or selected as president. Okay? So let's get that straight.
A small nudge can now tilt a superpower's balance. By the way, the website you've been seeing is called Ground News.
We ain't getting to that.
I use it all as eastern border. Israel can now fly its tanker aircraft hundreds of kilometers further east, which makes it possible for its fighter jets to fly to Iran and back without running out of fuel. This wasn't possible before, and it changes everything.
So they bombed Syria to get what? To now commandeer an area in order to refuel their planes without having to go all the way back to Israel. But like I said last week, they know this provocation is going to lead to missiles being shot to Israel. There go your 6 million in the burnt sacrifice that we've been hearing about for years. Well, that's going to happen at that time. And then they're going to shoot missiles into Europe and later into different parts, probably the East Coast, New York or whatever the case is, of America. Now, that's not immediately, but guess what? That's where it's going. Not according to my opinion. Okay? Not according to my opinion. All right? Netanyahu said this. Fair use. He said it last week.
Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat.
June 12th, the beginning of their Bilderberg. The beginning of their Bilderberg meeting in Sweden.
To Israel's very survival.
I'm going to step away from one
This
quick second.
operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades, the tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction. They've backed up their genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9. In recent months, Iran has taken steps that it has never taken before steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year.
He said it could be a
This
year.
is a clear and...
Hold up, it can be a year. Listen, he giving us a timeline here. Listen.
In recent months, Iran has taken steps that it has never taken before, steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year.
Year or in a few months, less than a year. Folks, based on the time schedule that I showed you all with the calendar, right? During the pandemic, I told y'all to look at what year? 2026. To where things are going to escalate to a whole nother level. And we're here at the beginning, the middle of 2025. And then he says it could be a year, which will bring us into the time that the Most High allowed us to show y'all in 2020. Right?
This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival.
Folks, I've been warning about this for a...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got you. Now, this is what I want to show y'all, folks. Now, this particular news piece looks eerily familiar, because it would have us believe that this guy is reporting from Tel Aviv, Israel. Right? It'll make you believe. Let me show you. Fair use.
Correspondent who's on the ground in Tel Aviv. It looks like right now. Trey Yangst, live from Tel Aviv with more. Trey.
Yeah, absolutely. We just got new alerts from Israel's Home Front Command that it...
Hey, folks, look around his body right here. They're saying that this report is live from Tel Aviv. Right? Now, this looked eerily similar to reports that we were seeing on CNN during the time of what? Of the invasions into Iraq. Right? This looked eerily similar. Fair use. Let me tell you, folks, maybe I'm showing my age, but I remember all this stuff. I'm like, are you kidding me? This guy is supposed to be reporting live from Tel Aviv. He got the gear on and everything in case of what? Something happens in a war or whatever, right? Check this out. CNN years ago, during the Gulf Wars. Fair use.
In Kuwait City this morning. We want to roll the video right before he was supposed to go on the air, and you'll see what happened as he was preparing to do a live report to us back here in Atlanta. Can we roll that now?
Hey, could somebody please put that... Ah! Jesus Christ! Wow! CNN's Carl Rawchaa is here with me. Just came up. Carl, I know we can't be very specific given these restrictions, but within those parameters, what did you see?
Well, what I saw, I didn't see anything hit. I looked almost straight above us. There was a vapor trail coming from my right to my left, and there's a cloud of something. It looks like it might have been an explosion, a cloud. I'd say... Okay, you take it. Okay, all right. My apologies for that. He's putting on a gas mask. There hasn't been any gas dropped here that we could tell. You smell anything? No. You may smell some of the fumes from a missile exhaust going off. The missiles use a rocket, a cordite, some sort of burning. We just heard a little thump just then. But
I have to apologize for that. caught a whiff of something and felt momentarily dizzy. You're more experienced military affairs than I am, but it might have been a little gas from the rocket exhaust. There apparently wasn't anything. A lot of people have their respirators on just in case.
And again, you run to get down here. You, in my case, jumped out of bed, hearing the air raid warning go on. You run down 3 flights of stairs to get out of here. It's probably 100 yards. You hyperventilate a little bit, and you're...
Soundbite with Oakley. 30 seconds. It's impossible. Oh! Shit! Ah! Oh! He's off. It's inside me. No, it's not. I went down your back. Take the phone.
Fair use.
Don't laugh. CNN's Brent Sadler has the story.
I'll be right back. Listen, don't laugh. Don't laugh.
CNN's Brent Sadler has the story. It's me.
No, it's not. I went down your back. Take the phone.
Don't laugh. CNN's Brent Sadler has the story.
I'll be right back. Don't fuck your phone.
I think it's inside.
See that? Do y'all see that? Do y'all? Hold up. Let me hold that. So obviously, there was some in studio here in Atlanta, in the United States, type of made for TV live reporting that would shape a narrative for those who was listening in the United States. Right? So you will fall into the propaganda, and by doing so, you will fall victim to what? The fallout that comes with whatever's going on. So again, never believe what you see. Now, when I show you the Bilderberg stuff, that's what they planted. Okay? But then they use the news so that you can buy in to the propaganda and fall victim to the eventual depopulation. Okay? Now, one other thing. Let me show you here. One second. One second. Here goes something nice for y'all. Then I'm going back to my other one. Elder Lawya, you missed it, so I'm going to let you see this one. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me get this one here. There it is. War in the Gulf. CNN. Right? And here it is. They have someone via satellite, as they claim. Right? Reporting from Saudi Arabia. Check this out. Fair use.
CD, if you need to take cover, I notice that you've got your gas mask in your hands. If you need to put it on, please do so. If you need to take cover, please do.
Dizzy, you're more experienced military. The top 10 things about Saudi Arabia. Maybe we could shorten the list to 5.
Now look. They said it was in Saudi Arabia, right? Look.
Dizzy, you're more experienced military. The top 10 things about Saudi Arabia. Maybe we could shorten the list to 5.
Oh, God. Geopolitics by Dan Quayle.
Look. They're in the studio. Look. Same guy. Look at this. This is the studio. Same guy.
Je suis un journaliste américain. Wolf. Wolf. Oh, I love this country so much.
You guys just don't have a clue.
Well, Cheryl, it was almost exactly 2 hours ago when the sirens went off here in Saudi Arabia. Where we are in eastern Saudi Arabia, there was no problem. It was almost exactly 2 hours ago when the sirens went off here in Saudi Arabia. Where we are in eastern Saudi Arabia, there was no problem. However, there was an intercept elsewhere near the capital city, Riyadh. We've got some videotape of that you can take a look at right now. Hi, Atlanta. We're about to have a short course in missile identification. This is a Scud. You can tell it by its distinctive label. Now, when the missile is launched, the first thing you look for is the plume sticking out behind it. Now, when you detect this, you can tell it's been launched. Thank you.
Graffiti on it? Yeah, show me graffiti.
Larry King show or bust. Look at this.
Look
at this. Look at this shit. Look at.
Can you believe that? Let me say hi. Believe that.
The joke is on us. The joke is on us. Right? So let's see about the reporting real quick, Elder. Real quick. Live from Tel Aviv right here. And to let you know, it's not just CNN who's a liberal. This is Fox News here. Right? Now we're going live from Tel Aviv.
Moment here, we're going to Trey Yangst, our Fox News correspondent who's on the ground in Tel Aviv. It looks like right now. Trey Yangst, live from Tel Aviv with more. Trey.
Yeah, absolutely. We just got new alerts from Israel's Home Front Command that Iran has launched a new ballistic missile attack against central Israel. We could see nearly the entirety of the beach area in Tel Aviv evacuating quickly, hundreds of people running for shelters. We anticipate...
Now, this is someone narrating reading from a script, folks. So we're supposed to believe what he's reading from a script. See? Not witnessing anything, but this has shaped the narrative for the conversations in the United States. That's news for you all. Right? See, but I'm not looking at this stuff here. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this right here. The Bilderberg meeting. Transatlantic relationships. Ukraine. U.S. economy. Europe. Middle East. Authoritarian axis. Linking directly into the prophecies the Most High have shown us years ago. Defense innovation and resilience. AI, deterrence and national security. Proliferation. Geopolitics of energy and critical minerals to control the minerals in the earth. And depopulation. That's people, folks. Lowering the number of people in countries that would normally oppose the order. And to replace some of these people after depopulating with strangers who can totally eradicate any proof that the children of Israel existed. Bringing in Asians and Babylonians. And folks, some of these, let me tell you, you want to see how they're living over there in India right now? And they come over here in the United States and make us believe they had it going on. See, you can't say nothing about where they came from, folks, because we've been all around the world now, okay? And they'll come into our neighborhoods and make us believe they had it going on for where they came from. Let me show you how the Babylonians that they looking to replace us with are really popping it off. Now, let me make it clear. Let me get it here. 1 second.
Welcome to the biggest slum in India, Dharavi. In today's video we are going deep inside this Mumbai slum and we are going to discover together how they live, how they work and how is life here. So sit back, relax and enjoy this video.
Hello.
Hi guys.
These guys, they make the finished products out of plastic sheets. You see, this is how they sleep. Here it's
So they actually live here inside the shop. That's crazy.
apron.
Apron. Yeah, made of plastic.
Now, all due respect to them, okay, I'm not showing this to celebrate someone living poor. Because they're going to do this to the whole earth, folks. Why am I showing this? I'm showing this based on the conditions they're used to. So if you're looking to destroy a culture, you bring people over who aren't used to anything. See? Because what? Anything is better than where they came from. So this is how you destroy a rich culture that was built off heroes. Okay? And I'm going to tell you, the greatness of America happened because of the tribe of Judah here. And God's people, like the North American Indians who were here. So understand that. So when they talking about depopulating and bringing over Indians, these are the people. This is what they're used to. Look at this trash. So they'll come with a caste system. Because in their mind, they're better than darker skinned people, even though they live in squalor and filth. Unfortunate for them. But these are the people, that they would bring over here to hold up their nose to us as if they got it going on back home.
Right.
Culture destroyers. So don't try to come up here and try to claim you got it going on better than Judah, than America. We fought for everything we got here. And it's through our accolades that made the West great. Okay? Esau didn't give us anything. We fought for everything to make it where you can come over here. So you can't wag your finger and come over here and try to make it seem you know better than Judah. But these are the people, folks, that they're going to pay and give contracts and grants to. Give them what? Nurse degrees, doctor degrees, and pharmaceutical degrees in our neighborhoods to administer stuff. Okay? So don't come over here. These are the people they're bringing over, folks, who's trying to claim that, because they're banking on our ignorance, folks. They're banking on that we don't know where they came from. And it's not to what? It's not to look down on anyone, because people can suffer. We understand that. But this is how you tear down a society. You bring in a people that didn't have the fortitude to clean up their own mess and couldn't stand against their government to make their country a better place, even though they're the majority of people there. We're the minority of the people here in the United States. We was the minority, and we still made Esau act right. Because they had to. See? So I'm putting this out there right now. So when they come over here wagging their fingers, if they got it going on, go to YouTube and type in slum in India. Because these are the pagans. They coming over here straight pagans. They worship many gods over there, folks. And they're coming over here with the mindset to depopulate Judah. So when we read this Bilderberg thing here, understand, folks, when we read this Bilderberg thing, Esau initially isn't going to send in people like himself. That's what the immigration thing is about. Don't buy into the Mexico thing and Mexicans and Venezuelans and criminals. Don't buy into that. The immigration is to bring in the Asians as social mercenaries to depopulate Judah. So I'm going to be side-eyeing anybody coming into a doctor's office or coming into where a baby's being born or whatever the case is, and you're from someplace else. Guess what? I have the right to look at you sideways. Okay? Because I know what you're here for. Could it be for depopulation and to replace God's people? And when it says the attacks of the specters and Shadims in 2nd Baruch, these people are bringing demons with them, spirits with them. What spirit? I've told y'all over and over again, the attack of the what? The attack of the specters and the Shadims. Well, Kali is a Hindu goddess straight from India. Look at it again. Kali from India. Folks, that's the spirit they brought over from India. Look at the hair. The 30-inch drip right here. Right? And then look. What is her necklace made of? The heads of men who fell to Kali. You know what their names are in India? Thuggy or thugs, who would sacrifice their lives, go to jail and die for this demon here. Look, there go Jake right here. Depopulation and migration. Head on a plate. That's what they're bringing with them. The attacks of the specters and the Shadim. Right? Now, Elder Lawya, I want to show something, then we can, don't follow everything you see on the news, okay? Don't let nobody panic you. We do have some time. But, understand, they will put military in strategic areas according to the sanctuary cities. And they'll lie dormant until the war truly ensues. Now, what did I tell you all? Last year when they were bringing in, when they talking about these sanctuary cities? Chicago, parts of Colorado, New York, California, a few places in the Midwest. What did I tell you? I said, what? This has nothing to do with illegal immigrants. It's bringing in what? Foreign troops who will eventually be in these areas when it all goes down the line. I said it just like that. Don't believe in there's no people out there really rioting or nothing like that, as far as I'm concerned, because I don't see none of our people getting involved in it. It's more so corporate rioting. Now that you look at it, it looks more corporatized than anything. And we are what? Insistent that our people do not engage in any of it. Okay? The sanctuary cities was used, that's right, so that the Republicans can come in and say, there's criminals here that we must now deploy military in these areas. Now, why did you need military in the areas? Well, if you know you're going to who knows, allegedly strike Iran, which will destabilize things. Well, if Iran was to retaliate, you would need to keep order in the United States by having military already in place. Okay? So in the meantime, in preparation, and Elder Lawya, if you have a few scriptures, we can bring that in a minute. Right? But one thing I wanted to bring out, Elder, is what? Is how to stay in the spirit and not be panicked through this, because we will be guided. Let me make it clear. When the Most High sent us out all around the world, churches were established, but these weren't no regular old churches. These churches were built organically off of friendships, connections, family, those of like mind. Okay? It was a family. So that if something happens in the earth, like Christ say, when you're persecuted in one city, flee in the next. And this is how many were able to escape out of Jerusalem in 70 AD, because what? They took heed to what the disciples were teaching and was able to connect with people that were already under the body. Those who didn't listen were taken out. So yeah, it's going to come a time where we'll have to move around or whatever the case is. And guess what? That's not to be publicized. But all in all, relationships have been developed in such cases. And now I can understand the importance of church. Church isn't what? It's not a building you can build me. The Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands. It's the relationships, the body that the Most High bring together for times like this, to sustain ourselves through the trouble, and then subsequent be ready when it's time through the Holy Spirit to stand against them rivaling the elect. They're getting the useless eaters, that's what they call them, not me, out of the way first. They're manipulating us, and on top of that, they're deceiving us so that our people can fall victim through fear to get depopulated. See? If you're fearful, you're going to run to them for the solution. And their solution is a wooden box. Elder Lawya, two things, and I'll leave it to you, and then we'll open up the lines.
Yes, sir.
First of all, let me put this out there, brothers and sisters. When you come fully to the Most High, repent. When you stand with Christ and say, you know what, I need to be guided through the heavens going forward, you're tested. What's that test? You're going to lose something. You're going to lose something. Now, you may think you're losing something, yet you're gaining everything. It's the Most High releasing you from any stronghold that you would hold on to with your faith, having faith in this world, so that you can depend on something greater that can guide you to greatness, to being better. Now, it's hard for us because usually, like the Gentiles, we depend on whether or not there's a job or whether or not I can make resources. We depend on, and nothing wrong with that to some degree. The physical work of our hands is what we usually have faith in. But what happens when jobs are taken away? What happens when there's no resources or options? And the only thing you can depend on is what you used to do in the past when all of that is gone. So this is why the Most High must take us through some of these tests. Right? Let me show you. Elder Lawya, real quick. The two I said, Sirach, Ecclesiastes 2:1. Ecclesiastes 2:1. Let's read that.
Yes, sir. Sirach 2:1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Read.
Set thy heart aright and constantly endure.
Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. It's not going to be easy. Read.
And make not haste in time of trouble.
Make not haste in time of trouble. That means trouble is going to come with this connection you're making towards the Most High. Why? Because Satan has a problem with you. He gave you just enough to sit on the sideline and do nothing. He's not going to pay you to oppose his kingdom. See? So he's going to disturb a few things so that you can run back under oppression. So to not be used as a weapon against his kingdom. So you may think, well, I'm losing my job or I'm doing this. The Most High is like, no, you ain't losing anything. I closed that door to show you that I exist, to give you ideas out beyond the parameters you box yourself into. See? So that you can be free to maneuver like Christ did. Now you can be utilized without obligation to anyone. But you must go through the hard parts first. And I know it's going to seem bleak, as if there's no direction. There's nothing. But I'm going to tell you, folks, something kicks in. I'm going to tell you, I'm a personal testimony to this. Something kicks in when you'll have ideas to do things that you would not have thought about otherwise. You didn't have to think about doing anything. You was punching in, getting a check, and following the protocol for employment. That was somebody else's idea you were living out. So outside of servitude or working, it didn't really take any brains for you to read a manual and follow what they were telling you to do at a job. See? I'm going to tell you, but something kicks in. And folks, it happened to me. Elder Lawya was there. He's seen the whole metamorphosis of how this church began. Mm-hmm. Something happened, brothers and sisters, when you're in a country with nothing but foreigners speaking another language thousands upon thousands of miles away from you. Listen, there's no family to call on if you need anything because they're so far away. Everybody think you're crazy. You have nothing to draw from because you don't know anybody there in a poor country because they're poor. You can't ask them for anything, right? So now you must kick in. You must connect directly with the Most High, with Christ, and say, Lord, guide me. Give me understanding to what this is. I have nothing. I have no way. And I'm going to tell you right now, next day, stuff started clicking. I started what? I started grabbing things out of me, as far as out of this mind, that I didn't know existed. That can materialize and benefit others in the world. But let me tell you, but if I wasn't by myself or out there, us with nothing else, I would have called people I knew out of, hey, can I borrow a few dollars? Or help me out with this and I'll give it back to you. Or is there some work I can do for you? Right? I would have leaned on dependency opposed to what? Having faith in the Most High to build self-reliance. The enemy don't want you like that, folks. The enemy wants us as perpetual servants. They don't want you to know that you have another component that can kick in, that can raise you out of this, in which you can do more for the Most High. And on top of that, you'll actually have more than if you work with someone because you didn't know that was possible. So when you're brought low, don't fight it. Because sometimes we're so busy, there's no conversation with the Most High. But when you're brought low, it's just you and him. And you'd be like, oh my God, I try to do everything right. And here it is, I'm still in a loop. I can't get, you start to hate yourself and all these others. And the Most High be like, listen here. Okay? The Most High will be like, listen here. Stop moping. You went through what you went through so that I can speak to you. So that I can guide you. You're always worried about everybody else and dependent on this world. I have a mission for you. That's why you're here. You're not here because things ain't going right. You're not here because other people are benefiting in the world and all these others, and yet you pull the short stick. You're here because I have you here at the bottom with nothing. And what I'm going to do is raise you from the dust so that everyone will know that it wasn't through your power you've received or have done anything. They're going to know it was me. So brothers and sisters, when you're brought low, use that as an opportunity to embrace the Most High. He's going to give you an element, something in you that you didn't know existed. And folks, when that happened, he freed us. He freed me. And I'm forever grateful for the bottom. For the bottom. Because why? Me learning through that is the perseverance it will take to show others how to get out of a hole in time of trouble. To not allow brothers and sisters to mope, but to dig something out of them that's greater than themselves, that has always existed. And that's what Christ did for all of us. He showed that example of faith to the end. It's in all of us, folks. And that's why the enemy is threatening us with not having a job or people going to get put out the job. He's threatening us so that we can bow and say, well, okay, Satan, all right, I'll go back into your system and work for a few nickels. Just don't allow me to be put out the house. That's what they're banking on. They're putting pressure on us so we'll stay still and not fight this spiritual war. The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.